Wow, hello once again, brothers and sisters. I am back. I took a month off. I found myself. I rejuvenated. I got my center. But we are back and on a new night. Nonetheless, Monday night. It is late. I am tired. But we just watched some incredible sports entertainment. It was good sports entertainment, not gonna lie. But we got the final night of the WWE Draft that we're gonna get into. We got a lot of build going into Crown Jewel, and we just gonna dig into it all. My name, once again, is Jordan Moser, and this is your Monday Night Raw recap and review. Let's go. So we're going to start off just running through all these draft picks that happened on night 2. I'm not finna stop at every 4 picks and just do those throughout the show. We're not doing that. So I'm going to just run through them all real quick here in short order from Monday Night Raw. We got Becky Lynch, Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, Damien Priest, AJ Styles, and Omos, Kevin Owens, the Street Profits, Finn Balor, Karrion Kross, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, and Gable Stevenson. We will get back to that shortly. And for SmackDown, the Usos, Sasha Banks, Nakamura, and Rick Boogs, Sheamus, Shayna Baszler, Xia Li, Viking Raiders, Ricochet, Carrillo, and Garza as that tag team, Cesaro, Rich Holland, and Sami Zayn. So those are the picks just from here on night 2. I'm going to kind of give my thoughts real quick on just the draft as a whole. I think it's very balanced. Just a couple things that I kind of took from it on my end. Both tag team divisions, kind of nice, like kind of balanced. They're showing that they kind of somewhat care about tag team wrestling. I think the Usos just as heading the tag team division on SmackDown, and RK Bro as the tag team division kind of leading things all Raw with just like a good balance of just different tag teams kind of shaking things up under them. I love what they kind of did on that end. Just for the rosters as a whole, I would probably give the edge to Monday Night Raw, especially after night 2. The way that really like the first 8 picks from Monday Night Raw, I could all see like main eventing shows, main evented pay-per-views, all that. I can't see the same for SmackDown, even though they have a great amount of stars, Roman Reigns, McIntyre, Flair, the whole 9. I think Raw just has a more balanced roster, and it's a longer show, so I can understandably see why they want just more like, especially mid-card stars on that show, just kind of popping out a little bit. So I would give kind of the edge to Raw, even though SmackDown does have the greater star power, in my opinion. In terms of NXT call-ups, we didn't really see a fair amount on this draft. We see a Hit Row, of course, get taken the first night for SmackDown just as a whole faction. Also Austin Theory, who showed up on Monday Night Raw tonight, which we will get to later. And also Xia Li, and I believe, who else? Rich Holland, yes, Rich Holland got drafted to SmackDown as well. So most of them kind of leaning towards the SmackDown, just kind of creating new stars there. Didn't really expect to see so few NXT talents kind of go. Of course, we might see more just coming up on Raw Talk a little bit later. But yeah, very interesting. We'll see how they kind of pan out, but definitely not mostly impressed just with the people that got called up, just in my opinion. We'll see how they do, but I'm not looking forward to them like a gape. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy got drafted or didn't get drafted, so it won't really matter. Last thing I did want to touch on here, Gable Stevenson, dog. Dude just got signed by WWE probably less than 2 months ago, and now he is drafted to Monday Night Raw. They're putting the rocket on this man's back, and he is shooting it to the moon. I would have loved to see him drafted. My goodness, Cameron Grimes. Jeez, what is he doing in NXT anymore? But yeah, we'll see how it goes, but I'm definitely looking forward to see how they kind of market this man and where he's really going to go in terms of in-ring ability, because we haven't seen a lot of him like doing anything. We haven't seen like a lot of Olympians come in and just like immediately go. Of course, Kurt Angle's the exception, and of course we see Chad Gable and things like that, but this will be very interesting to see how he develops very shortly, especially being one of the actual draft picks. So this will be fun for sure. But yeah, just giving my thoughts on the draft there, and now to move on to the rest of this mediocre show. We see probably the most important thing on the show kick it off and end it at the same time. It was kind of rinse and repeat from SmackDown, but we'll let that go for now. We see Becky Lynch, our SmackDown Women's Champion, open the show up, and she's pretty much spoiling that she got drafted to Raw first, which of course probably made the executives mad a little bit, but they planned it, so it's all right. But she's saying, hey, I want to be Becky 2 belts again. I never lost that Raw Women's Championship. This is what I want to do. She calls out Charlotte Flair. Flair comes out, talks herself up, and talks Bex down. This eventually brings out Bianca Belair, who wants a piece of both of them after this past SmackDown as well. And this leads to Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair really going at it. And Becky's like, hey, bro, I know you ain't gonna let her talk to you like that. I know you're not gonna be disrespected like that. And that leads to the main event being made. Charlotte Flair going up against Bianca Belair in a very fun matchup, very exciting. These first time those two have really gone at it, and it's just a game of one-upsmanship between, or one-up-womanship between those two, pretty much. There's a lot of flips in this match, a lot of outdoing each other. I will never get tired of Charlotte Flair taking her fiance's move. I love it. But we do see the end of this matchup. Sadly, we see KOD's hit by Bianca Belair, and as she's going for the cover, Becky Lynch pulls her out the ring, slams her into the steps for the disqualification. You don't do that in your main event. But we do see Becky hit that manhandle slam, or that man slam. I don't know exactly what it's called, in the ring. She lays her out, and this brings out Sasha Banks, who comes to get a little bit of retribution for SmackDown. She lays both women out and stands tall to end the show off. Pretty much, like I said, kind of rinse and repeat from the main event segment of SmackDown, with just Sasha standing tall rather than Charlotte. But yeah, very much the most important part of the show, match of the night, of course, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they kind of handle things at Crown Jewel for that SmackDown Women's Championship and that triple threat. But yeah, very fun part of the show. Everything after this, Lord Jesus. Following the first segment, we see the most forgettable defense of Damien Priest's United States Championship so far, facing off against Jeff Hardy. Not a bad match by any metric, just a really forgettable. I really don't remember anything about the matchup except for the end. We see Hardy get the advantage, hits that twist of fate, goes up top, actually hits the senton, crawls over, gets into the cover, 1-2, and Damien Priest is like, nah, boy. He reverses that thing to a crucifix-like move for the 1-2-3, and the win for Damien Priest, just defending that title. Yeah, like I said, not really much of a match, but yeah, very fun to see Damien Priest come out on top, drafted to Raw, so he's gonna stay where he at, just get that bevy of new challengers. I like it. We see Jeff Hardy is interviewed after the match. He teases something coming that's a little bit different, a little bit of an ego twist, and I'm like, ooh, we'll see what happens here. I've seen the theories on Twitter. I see what y'all been saying, so we're gonna see what happens once he moves to SmackDown. But this eventually, in this interview, brings out the newest member of Monday Night Raw, Austin Theory, but I thought changes didn't take effect until after Crown Jewel. We gonna ignore that for now, sure, until the end. But Austin Theory comes out, he's playing the happy guy, he's playing the fanboy, he poses for a selfie, and then he attacks, and then he decks him, and just leaves Jeff Hardy laying, gets the confident smug, his little with the picture. I thought it was pretty funny. Very nice debut, coming out to pretty much no reaction to getting booed as he's leaving. That means it's pretty successful. So I love Austin Theory, just his character. I wish he'd get a little more serious because he has that talent, but nothing wrong with this segment at all, just in terms of Austin Theory's debut, of course. So very mild match, but a very nice debut for Austin Theory. Next up, we got Shayna Baszler squashing Dana Brooke. Like, it was pretty much no contest. Of course, Dana got her shots in, of course, but yeah, once Shayna got on them submissions and like here for you to clutch it, it was over. And then she tried to do what she did to Nia Jax and Eva Marie these past couple weeks, tried to take Dana Brooke's arm out on those steel stairs, but out came Doudrop, who, I don't know. I didn't think they had a problem beforehand. I ain't been watching Raw like that, frankly. But she came out, she stopped her from attacking Dana Brooke, and then Shayna just tried to hit a cheap shot and then walk off, and then they stared at each other for like 30 seconds. And I'm like, all right, cool. Why didn't anybody draft Doudrop? Why wasn't she in those first picks? Frankly, we're going to see how these women's divisions kind of pan now, but why does Zelina Vega get drafted over Liv Morgan, who just won a pay-per-view match? I don't know, dog. Why did she also get drafted over Natalya and Tamina, who have held like the women's tag team titles, even though they're irrelevant, for like 100 days? I don't know, dog. We're going to see how this pans out. I'm not knocking Zelina Vega. She just ain't won a match since she's been back. That's all I'm saying. We gotta think logically here, people, okay? So we're going to see how these women's divisions pan out. But yeah, just a very short squash to kind of get Shayna some momentum going on to SmackDown, of course. Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza going up against Mansoor and Mustafa Ali came up next. It was a minute and a half and it didn't really mean anything. Only thing I really took from this matchup is that I wasn't really allowed to sink my teeth into it. And also Humberto Carrillo, he slammed Ali's head against that pole. Like, this is a kind of new side. I wasn't used to that. I wasn't expecting that coming because I ain't been watching Raw the past couple of weeks. But if this is what we gonna see from Humberto, I like it. Everything was kind of cut short. We hear Big E's music for our WWE champion. Cut everything short as he kind of comes to the ring, leading into what's going to happen next. After that interruption, we come to Big E in the ring. One thing that I was kind of lacking from Big E throughout his entire WWE run was just like really good and solid promos. This was one of those. Like, this was so just nice, kind of recapping things and just leading us to the next spot, which was Drew McIntyre coming out to stake his claim for the WWE Championship. That boy has been biding his time for Bobby Lashley to lose that joint. He has been waiting, and Big E was his knight in shining armor, so he could just walk up and say like, hey, I want your title, bro. But this is eventually all cut short by a very unexpected interruption. The Dirty Dogs, Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode come out and they are like, bro, like Dolph Ziggler is pretty much saying that he wants a thank you. Like, he wants just appreciation from both Big E and Drew McIntyre from bringing them to the spots that they are at now. As we remember, Big E came in originally as Dolph Ziggler's bodyguard during his World Heavyweight Championship reign, and before that carrying the Money in the Big briefcase. And Drew McIntyre coming back as Dolph's tag team partner back in 2018. So this is really an amalgamation of all Dolph Ziggler just saying like, I just want to be appreciated. I just want to thank you. But he doesn't get that, frankly. And we get a tag team match player instead. And we see it go rather long. But yeah, definitely a nice little fun tag team match. They're just playing the hits. Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, even at their advanced age, can still move and can still get down. Big E ended things off with a big ending for the 1, 2, 3 and the win. And then he proceeds to give Drew McIntyre his match at Crown Jewel. So we're going to see those two go at it. Definitely gonna love what I see. More than likely Big E is just gonna defeat Drew McIntyre. Hopefully that's probably what's gonna happen as Drew McIntyre is going to SmackDown. But Drew, a good way to send Big E off as a champion, just go to SmackDown. Looking forward to him facing Roman Reigns at some point, of course. But yeah, very okay stuff. Definitely Big E and McIntyre, their chemistry and just going at it, and just an alright tag team match, of course. Next up, we got this women's tag team title match, which this division is in a state of boredom. Like, we got 3 teams, three. Mandy Rose went back to NXT. She is gone. She's not coming back. She's with Toxic Attraction. We got 3 teams, bro. But yeah, this was as boring and as cut and dry as you were probably gonna get it. We see Rhea Ripley and Nikki Cross, the champions, retain and things off with the Riptide and an assisted splash for the 1, 2, 3. I really don't care. Like, they should have. We thought they were gonna create these titles and it was gonna be magnificent when it was back in 2019. It's not the case no more. We're in a state of flux. We can't do anything. I'm sorry, y'all. I freaking lied. I'm seeing this Raw talk results of this draft, bro. Women's tag team division only got 1 team. It's the champions. Bro, I'm so finished. I'm so done with this company. I really try to give this company the benefit of the doubt. Oh my God, they suck sometimes. They shafted SmackDown. SmackDown definitely got the short end of the stick. Oh my Lord. They split up Shotzi and Tegan already, dog. Like, really? I'm done. I'm finished. Mr. Bill Goldberg is up next. He gets in the ring and he lays it down simply. He wants to break Bobby Lashley's freaking neck for touching his son. His words, not mine. Bobby Lashley does proceed to come out and pretty much gives Goldberg what's he want. He gets a match at Crown Jewel and it's going to be no holds barred. Fine. I remember the last time Goldberg was in a no holds barred matchup. I didn't like it that much. It was at another Saudi Arabian event. Granted, Bobby Lashley is 8 years younger than Undertaker and in better shape. It doesn't still make me happy about it, but we gonna see what happens. They pretty much talk. Their promos aren't really their strong suit, but they kind of held things together. The Hurt Business, the newly reformed Hurt Business, whatever, attacked at the end, and Goldberg left them both laying pretty much, which will lead got into what happens next with the Hurt Business. But yeah, he kind of stands tall to just end the segment off. I'm not looking forward to the match, frankly. I need Goldberg off my TV screen in most circumstances, all circumstances pretty much. But we'll see what happens. Yeah. And right after this, we see the Hurt Business, newly reformed, mind you, get pimped off again. We see them get beaten by the New Day in short order, pretty much. This all leads to the return of the Street Profits coming back to Monday Night Raw, drafted a little bit earlier, and they give Kofi some of the juice, the good stuff, the purple. I don't know if it's purple drink or not. I really don't know, but he drunk it and he was shucking and jiving, and I was like, all right, I didn't really need to see that, but that's okay. I love the Street Profits that are back on Raw, of course, and they just pimping out the Hurt Business. Lord have mercy. Last thing to discuss here, RK Bro eventually comes out to the ring to address what was teased earlier, Randy Orton challenging Omos to a matchup. He calls him a really bad word, sorry guys, and Omos and AJ eventually come out all pissed off, all mad. They start to throw in the hands. AJ eventually gets hit with an RKO, which leaves Omos seething in the ring as Randy Orton and Riddle make their escape, and I'm like, why? You wasted 4 minutes of my time when you teased the matchup and then nothing happened. It was like Kevin, I wasn't even going to talk about this. It was Kevin Owens earlier in the night. He came out to talk. Akira Tozawa interrupted. He got stunned and then Kevin Owens left. Like, why did you put that on the show if nothing was going to happen? Not a thing. Not a thing. Literally. I'm not going to be mad, but it was both of those things very inconsequential, to say the least and the most. I don't know, dog, frankly. All in all, this was a fairly run-of-the-mill mediocre episode of Raw. The draft did add to things a little bit, which honestly was probably the most impactful thing of the night to me. Most drafts in the past that WWE has done have not done that, and it kept my attention. This was different. I don't know why, but it just held my attention throughout the rest of the night. So that was fine. Definitely balanced both brands up a little bit. I still think Raw had the better brand and better roster at this point. We'll see what kind of happens after Raw talk and who else still needs to be drafted for like the women's division and things like that. But Raw is looking a little bit better just in terms of depth to me at this moment. They sure gonna need it because this show was dumpster fire probably after that. Outside of the main event and everything that's going on with those 4 women, everything else on this show was very run-of-the-mill, very so much what we have seen before, if not worse, and I'm gonna just need things to change a little bit. But we're gonna look forward to that. Crown Jewel is coming. After Crown Jewel is coming, when these rosters will be specifically set, and we're gonna look forward to that later on. I'm gonna keep a happy face. It's my first night doing Raw. I'm not gonna break that easily. Can't do it. We're gonna strive for it. But that is gonna be it from me. You will see more videos throughout the week and such. Once again, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your grandma, your grandpa, your dog, your cat, because I know you got pets. Tell your goldfish too. Tell them. But that's gonna be it. I'm out. Peace. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a lovely October. Fall is here. Fall is coming. I'll see y'all soon.